And
Hmm.
welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This is episode number 57, and I am joined by the returning lunatic Oblivion.
Welcome back, guys. Sorry I wasn't here for a week. Weddings make you have to go to places you don't always want to go. But
Well, at least you went to LA. How was LA, man?
yeah, LA is busy as fuck, and it's just it is a crazy fucking city, man, dude. It's like cars as far as the eye can see. Like go 5 miles, you're like going 15 minutes just to go 5 miles down the road.
Yeah, traffic out there, man, is insane. And I don't know if you saw, but I think it's
Is
California, but they're trying to work on a bill where they're going to ban cars with gasoline by 2035.
Yeah, no, it's a quite interesting place though. There's like zero public transportation. Like in a city, I'm used to places like New York where like
Hmm.
there's a subway everywhere.
Right,
Freaking
right.
LA, there's nobody takes the subway really. It's like everyone drives a car there and that's the only way to get around. And it was pretty hectic to try and get around LA.
For sure. But man, we had our co-op stream today. It returned this week. Tell us a little bit about it, how it went. Recap.
Well, you were there, I was there. We've had a pretty good stream, though, I think. Honestly, not many viewers showed up, but it's a Sunday. What can you expect sometimes? But we played the last two acts of Diablo in less than 2 hours. We blazed through them. They were pretty quick. But honestly, what did you think of the game?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head while we were playing it. It was just like the story just didn't draw me in so much. Like I didn't really feel connected or anything meaningful. I think part of it dealt with the difficulty. Like I just felt like we were just wiping shit out. It didn't even matter. Like it
Yeah.
became a meme. Like, oh, it's a boss fight. How fast are we gonna kill it? 6 or 8 seconds. Like we were taking over and unders on that. Like that's not a game that's gonna have like a big story. I think if you're just annihilating people.
Yeah, like we had at one point there was a mini boss. I walked up to him and he goes, "You shall not," and I was like,
Dead.
dead. And I killed him before you guys showed up, and his voice line literally stops as soon as he dies. So he was like, "You won't,"
Yeah. So I
and I
mean,
was like, "What? I won't what?"
it was it wasn't a bad game. I mean,
No, no, I agree.
I think like on my scale, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Just it wasn't a bad
Same.
game, but it's a good game, and it
Mhm.
kind of gets me kind of excited with Diablo 4 because the Diablo 4 content that we have seen through all the trailers and whatnot has been
Looks
looking good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it looks really fucking good. And it's going to be a mini MMO essentially. So you're going to be able to go around and sort of fight the bosses like you would in World of Warcraft, which is really cool in my opinion. And honestly, Diablo 4 looks spicy because it's not like you're railroaded through the story. You can pretty much do what you want. It's the adventure mode all the time, really.
right, right. So other than Diablo though, what else have you been playing over the last week or two?
Well, since I barely just got back on Tuesday and then had a bunch of family issues with a car accident and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
I barely got to play really. I played Spider-Man, I finally beat that. So that was the 2018 Spider-Man. I played it on the PS5 and it looked like fire, dude. It was
Yeah.
really fucking nice. It played well. Honestly, I was super happy with how it turned out. And I'm working on the DLC now for it before we go to Miles Morales.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Spider-Man yet, but it's definitely on my list, my backlog to play. I think I'm gonna wait until I get a PS5 in the future to play it because I want to play it at the best possible fidelity. Yeah, I can get it for PC right now, sure, but is it going to look the
Your
best, play the
PC,
best?
yeah.
It's not made for a high fidelity game like that.
No, yeah, your PC is just not there yet. And,
Hmm.
you can get a graphics card now, but they're still a little high in price. So is it really worth it, or do you just want a PS5 to play some exclusives? But you might want to put that thought on hold because the PS5 is looking pretty run down lately. We got some news about that
Yeah, I
this
can't
week
wait to
that
get
kind of
into it.
makes the industry's got ripples because of it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I've also been playing like Mass Effect 2 still. I've been playing through
Mhm.
that, and obviously it's my first playthrough, and I've been really enjoying it. And I just love to see the connections. And I was just like, I'll run into characters from the first game, and they'd be like, "Hey, you saved me," or "You betrayed me," and then like the interactions, you're like, "Oh shit!" Like I do remember you from that game, and I was just like, and then you can like help him out again, or you can betray him again, or whatever the case may be. And it's just like the connection, the story, like everything feels connected. Everything seems meaningful like every side mission I do, like I feel like it's a purpose. Like I'm literally helping that person because like they may have helped me, or it's like a family oriented issue, or like it feels like I feel like it's mine, like it's my issue. I need to take care of this.
Well, and not only that, it's one of those games, one of those original games that did the I played the first one and then you import your save file into the
Hmm.
second one. Another game like that was the Witcher series. You could import
Hmm.
your Witcher 1 into Witcher 2 and every decision you made impacted what was going to happen in the next game.
Yeah, so I've been really enjoying it. I would say I'm probably about like quarter, maybe halfway done with the game already, but it's been really fun. I was telling you before stream, I've been playing a little bit more Battlefield 2042, even though that was a dumpster fire when that first came out. But I've been really having fun. There's no glitches. There's no hover ships flying around the sky. There's nothing, nobody like hacking. It doesn't seem like it. This has been
Yeah.
thoroughly fun, and we'll dive into Battlefield here in a little bit of what changes they've made. But it's definitely been a fun game, especially if I'm playing solo. Because playing COD, I tried playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the multiplayer, and I'm like, it's just boring as hell by yourself. But Battlefield, I just
Yeah.
hop in, and it's just so much fun. So
There's just so many people running around doing things that it's a giant mosh pit, really.
for sure, so it's definitely been a lot of fun. But Roger, talking about games though, what's coming out this week?
So we got a big roster of games, about 10, 12 here. So first we've got Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. That comes out for the PS5, Xbox S and S and X, the Xbox One and the PC on August 30th. I believe that is the remastered edition of Destroy All Humans 2.
Yep.
So we probably are looking at a Destroy All Humans 3 here soon. So that'd be pretty cool. Next, we've got Immorality, which comes out for the Xbox Series X and S, PC, iOS, and Android. So it's a mobile style game that comes out on August 30th. Next, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection. That comes out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on August 30th. Next up, we've got Tinykin. Tinykin comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 30th as well. This one is actually going to be an interesting looking game. It is a Pikmin clone.
Hmm.
So, it is a small indie developer Pikmin clone. We've got Ooblets next, which is on Xbox X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, not on PlayStation. That comes out September 1st. This is Pokemon meets Harvest Moon, or, a farming simulator meets, DDR, or like a dance fighting game. You raise monsters, farm, and then you have them dance off in battles. So it's a little
Yeah,
silly
yeah, it
of a
seems goofy.
premise.
Yeah, it seems goofy.
Next, we've got two fighting games here. We've got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle Royale, or All-Star Battle R. That comes out for the PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 2nd. And then we've got Lego Brawls. This is the Smash clone in the Lego universe. This is done on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on September 2nd. So that's going to get pretty hard slept on. So probably zero sales. Next, we've got Maiden Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness. This is the video game for the Maiden Abyss franchise. This will recount the content from the first season of the anime, the first few manga volumes. You'll go through, you'll meet both of the side characters that the main character gets to know. You'll start descending down into the abyss. Looks really good. It's a single player game. It's very mature, so very, very risky concepts in some of these games. Like the actual anime is very graphic and gory. It's definitely going to be an interesting game, I think, and it
Hmm.
looks really nice and looks like it plays well. And then lastly, on the 2nd, we have for the PS5 the release of The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
And this is the remastered, remade version of the game from the ground up.
Yeah, so that's definitely a lot going on over the next week. I've never played any Destroy All Humans game, so I might eventually check those out. Obviously, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a classic. That's like always a go-to. Um, I'm interested with Lego Brawls, like because like what catalog can they pull from? Because like there's a Lego game or Lego movie, like a Lego of everything in existence. So it's like, can they add whatever characters they want to it?
I don't think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be their first party IPs like Ninjago or their maybe was it Bionicle was Lego?
Bionicles, yes.
Yeah, so maybe that. I know that they're probably going to have like characters from the Lego movie. I think I saw in one of the clips the guy from the Starship, the astronaut
Oh
character
yeah.
is going to be in there, I think. So it looks interesting, but it's definitely not going to be able to dethrone or even come anywhere near multiverses.
Right. Yeah. Definitely not. But the other, obviously, the big hitter of the week is The Last of Us Part One, which is the remake of the OG one coming to the
Hmm.
PS5. So that's going to be super exciting. Obviously, you have a
And it looks
PS5,
really
you can
good.
check it out. Yeah, they definitely seen the comparison trailers and whatnot. You're just like, okay, they put a lot of work into this game, and they really do care about it.
No,
So
definitely. So, Vic, what's going on in the industry this week?
couple things we actually already alluded to one of them, but we're gonna start off here with Horizon Zero Dawn, the PlayStation exclusive game. It's getting their TV adaptation, which was already announced, is being developed by Umbrella Academy's producer or executive producer and showrunner Steve Blackman. So that's pretty big with Umbrella Academy actually over basically. There's no more seasons coming, and they just kind of moved on to the next show. And Umbrella Academy was super successful, so to see him transition to this kind of makes sense, and I think it'll work out really well for them. Next
Okay.
up, we got Activision Blizzard update. Saudi Arabia is the first regulatory authority to approve the transaction of the acquisition, so that's big news. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more countries approve or come out with their decision over the next month or so, or within the next month, I think. And hopefully, we see this transaction go through. So that's big time news. Finally, some good news, I guess, in regards to Activision Blizzard for once. Next up, we got Twitch. Twitch will now let you partner stream on YouTube and Facebook. So basically, if you want to live stream, you can live stream to YouTube and Facebook gaming, but it can't be at the same time. So you can stream to Twitch, or you can stream to YouTube. You cannot co-stream. You cannot like stream them at the same time. The only time that you can stream at the same time is if you're streaming to Twitch and then streaming to like TikTok or something like a mobile platform. So
Yeah,
and that's only for partners. That's nothing to do with affiliates.
correct. That means if once you've signed an agreement to become a partner, which is you get your own custom agreement written up for just you, once that agreement is made, you are binded to Twitch as essentially your streaming daddy.
Pretty much. And I'm just curious to like to understand why they are now allowing them their partners to stream to YouTube and Facebook because like they want your content to be exclusive on their platform. You're a partner, and I would have thought like maybe they opened this up to like affiliates, but affiliates still can't stream across multiple platforms like that. Next up, PlayStation news. This they got two bad news. Two. They're facing a £5 billion lawsuit over in the UK for ripping off customers. Basically, they were just overcharging from the digital store. Like a PlayStation was taking like a 30% cut of every purchase, and all the developers and whatnot were like, and even the consumers were like, yeah, that's not good. You're ripping us off. Like you're not allowing these people to make their money and whatnot. You're costing too much. So we're going to sue you. £5 billion. Next up, this one shook the industry big time. Ripple effects. They are increasing the cost of the PS5 in all regions except for the United States. So I think it's going up to around like 550, $600 roughly, give or take, depending on the currency exchange. But that's bad. That's bad news. Like they started to make a profit on the PlayStation, and then now they want to increase the cost instead of taking a hit like most companies do, like they normally do, because they normally take a hit on their console
Yeah.
sales.
They're making money and they were like, let's try to get more.
Yeah, and the idea was they raised the cost of this to the inflation. They're using the inflation going up and the chip shortage and all this other stuff, and they're just trying to come up with excuses on why they
They
raised
want
the
to
price.
keep getting the money because they're losing right now. They're losing the digital gaming marketplace against Microsoft. So they're not making the money anymore.
Right, exactly. And then Xbox and Nintendo both have came out and announced that they will not increase the cost of their respective consoles. So that, I mean, that's big time. Xbox is just going to
Yeah.
continue to win. Xbox is the place to play right now. Like the consoles are
Even
cheaper.
Nintendo.
Yeah, even Nintendo. But Xbox alone, like their subscription service is better. Their consoles are cheaper. Like there's more content on Xbox. Like Xbox is winning after
It's
winning
a better
after winning.
value, hands down. There is no better value than getting, a Nintendo Switch and an Xbox Game Pass for whatever console you want, PC or Xbox.
Right. And the thing is, you can grab an Xbox Series S and then like a Nintendo Switch Lite or whatever it was, or even just a regular Switch. And that's like what 500 or 550. Boom.
Mhm.
It's the same price as your PS5, and you have way more to play. Way more to play, honestly.
Exactly.
So
And
that
all you're doing is paying $20 a month for Game Pass, and you can play anything, and you can stream
right.
those games. So if your console can't support it, like the S is not going to be able to do the full fidelity for some of these games, fucking stream them, cloud stream them, and now you're playing like it's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. You can stream it right on your console 4K. But that's all the industry news we got this week. Roger, what's going on in the gaming world?
Okay, so this week we had Gamescom. So Gamescom was huge. So what we'll do is we'll go through what came out for Gamescom. Then we'll hit a bunch of fewer small things here that happened throughout the week, including like Battlefield, Destiny, PlayStation, Xbox, all the different changes that they had. But let's just jump straight into what we saw at Gamescom. We had 40 different announcements during the 2 hour presentation. First off, we had Everywhere announced by ex
Another
Rockstar
long night
developers.
of
So
crime.
this is gonna be an interesting game here. It's a new IP. It's thrilling gameplay about adventure, discovery, and creativity in a multi-world experience. It's essentially the players make the game, I guess. It's like Roblox.
Yeah, I don't like. There's like not really a description on kind of game this is.
Mhm.
It's like a sandbox. Like you have your own like this is like the game engine. Like you can basically create whatever you want that's going on in here. Like when this trailer first came out, I was just like, is this a racing game? Is this like an RC racing game? Like one of those like futuristic ones? And I was just like, and then they got to it and they were like, nope, create your own
And
game.
then and then we had them shooting and doing a bunch of other stuff, and it's just sort of like it's meant to be everything that could happen everywhere. Do whatever you want. You make your own game, I guess. So it looks interesting. It's just a better looking Roblox.
More or less. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'm interested to see where this turns out to be. I think this is going to be down the road, and this is being developed as you can see here on the page by one of the lead developers of the GTA series from Rockstar. So I mean, they got some big names behind this for sure.
Next up, we have Dune Awakening. This is going to be a survival MMO set in the Dune universe. We only got a cinematic trailer, no real details, just sort of like just an intro there.
Yeah, this
It
game
looked
really
okay.
came. Yeah, this one came out of nowhere. I mean, it visually looked really good. And I'm really curious because like obviously we know that other Dune game that was announced and it's like a strategy game, and I was just like, eh, I'm not really into strategy games, but like an MMO
Maybe.
might be my kind of thing. I'll check out because I like the Dune universe because basically I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Everybody knows that, and was basically what Star Wars is based off of, like where the ideas kind of flew, and this trailer looked really good, and I really enjoyed the movie. We got the second one coming out soon as well. And it just looks really good. Honestly, I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
it's just a
But
trailer, a
it's a
cinematic trailer.
cinematic trailer. It could be the dirtiest fucking tease, but it is an MMO, so.
Right. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure.
Next up, we've got Sony revealed a new controller. It's the DualSense Edge. It's supposed to be a fully customizable controller, essentially like Game Labs you can do with your Xbox controller, but also has more features like the ability to customize your button layout and stuff like that. But I guess can't you already do that in most games anyway?
Yeah, well, this is more of a competitor to the series,
The Pro controller.
the elite controller, where you can swap out the paddles, the thumbsticks.
Hmm.
You can swap out everything. You can add the buttons on the back. With this one though, there's only two buttons on the back, but you can adjust like the triggers on how far you got to press them and stuff like that, just like the Xbox controller. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but I don't know how good it's gonna be. But I mean, honestly, the DualSense was already a great controller, so this only
Yeah.
kind of made it better.
And honestly, I gotta say, Xbox, yeah, they have a nice controller, but I'd take a DualSense any day.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like that.
I think
That's legit.
I
That's what I use at my PC. I just use DualSense all the time.
right. Microsoft just needs to make a the Elite Series 3 controller because Series 2 was for last gen, and we haven't got
Mhm.
a next generation Series 3 controller. So I'm interested to see if that is going to be introduced anytime soon.
Yep. Next up, we've got the Callisto Protocol. We don't really need to show the video for this one, but the Callisto Protocol we've seen before. We saw some more gameplay here. The biggest gameplay change that was announced that we didn't know, it's a new feature that they're announcing is the ability for your opponents to evolve and to become something scarier while you're fighting them. So if an opponent starts to have tentacles appearing out of their body and you don't shoot them and kill them quickly enough, they'll actually transform and either become faster, bulkier, harder hitting.
Yeah.
They become more terrifying in some way.
Yeah, they just continue to show off the gore of that game, and I'm really excited for it to come out.
Hmm.
And that has like a December release date, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe sometime around December here. Next up, we have the Lords of the Fallen, which is a lord, which is like it's kind of like it's kind of like a Dark Souls style game. You
Hmm.
fight, you die, you come back in, you fight some more. This is previously titled Lords of the Fallen 2, so this is the
Yeah.
sequel to Lords of the Fallen,
Oh,
which
this
you
game
have
here.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks interesting. It's a Souls-like game. We'll see how well it does.
It actually looks really good,
It looks,
honestly.
but we only got a cinematic
Right.
trailer yet again.
Right.
So we don't want to take it with a grain of salt. Now, something we didn't get a gameplay trailer, we got a gameplay, not a visual trailer, was
Mhm.
Moving Out 2, which is the sequel to Moving Out. It's like Overcooked, those kind of games. So
Yeah, it's a
get
couch
your just
co-op.
classic co-op. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like a goofy game. You're literally just moving shit around in and out of houses, and there's obstacles in the way, and you just got to try to figure out how to move certain things around the
Mhm.
house and whatnot. So I've never played this game before, but as you guys can see here, it looks like fun. It's like you're trying to just clean up, solve puzzles, move some shit around. I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be something to just to
exactly.
go goof off with.
Next up, we have Hogwarts Legacy. We get a new story trailer, so we kind of get to see more of what's going to go on in this new game here. But it is going to be that action adventure RPG playing in the world of Hogwarts.
Yeah, and really in that trailer they just showcase the dark arts and what can happen if you try to use the curses of the dark arts, and they kind of just show the importance of the three unforgettable curses of that universe and how important that they're going to play in that game.
Hmm. Next up, we got an announcement for a brand new Tales of Borderlands. So this is going to be a new story, not continuing off of the previous story. It's about three adventurers who are essentially trying to deal with one of the corporations that is essentially trying to take over a vault that they think is on the planet.
Yep, and then yeah, you're just trying to defend it and try to prevent them from doing it. Um, oops, it went up to the top there. But in this trailer, we also got the official release date. The game New Tales from the Borderlands is coming out on October 21st, so just in
Right
about two
around the
months.
corner.
And October is just a really packed month for gaming, so it's going to be a busy, busy time.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see some contenders here, I think, for
A bunch
game
of
of the year,
awards.
really.
Yeah.
Just just stuff that is gonna really challenge game of the year. And honestly, Elden Ring has a lot coming out, but let's hope we see something good.
What's up,
Like I'm
cuz?
I'm really excited for October. Next up, we've got Dying Light 2, The Stay Human. So we got a little bit more with, we got a teaser for the next Dying Light 2 part. It's going to be a giant arena, essentially, that
Hmm.
we're going to fight to the death in.
Yeah, well, there's also a new story that comes with it too, so.
Yep.
So obviously it comes with that arena, but then there's obviously some story
You
DLC.
going you going back? Because I'm not.
No, it's already uninstalled.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't do it.
But
Yeah,
next up,
it just sucks that this game is just
it
it didn't live up to the
it
hype.
just flopped, dude.
Yeah, and this
I
new DLC is coming out on October 13th. Again, October is just a packed month for gaming.
hmm Next up, we've got a video game retelling of a classic board game, Tortuga. It's a pirate's tale. It's about essentially, I think it's an isometric strategy game. It's a top-down strategy, but it's also like a simulation. So you become a pirate in the Caribbean, and you essentially are just trying to survive and leave your legacy.
Yeah, and it's interesting just to see this kind of game come out more or less. Obviously, with the success of Sea of Thieves, and then you also got Skull and Bones, which is coming out in November. This one I think is just going to be overshadowed because there's no release date yet. But I just think that this game is just going to be like a day late and a dollar short.
Well, I don't know, because it's a strategy game. That's the thing. Like you get to build your own ship and you design how you want your ship to work, and it's really fascinating what it could be, but you know,
Right.
it's a whole different game from a first person, a first person pirate game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Next up, we've got Marauders. It's entering early access now,
In
which is
October.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's essentially what Rust, but more gritty.
It's a tactical first person shooter. It actually looks really cool. Um, you're doing a bunch of raiding and looting and escaping and stuff, and it just looks really intense. And it
Yeah.
looks like fun to me. I don't know about you,
And
but
it's all in space too.
yeah,
So we also got Sonic Frontiers. We have a story trailer now. So we actually get to see what's kind of going on here. And Sonic is trying to save his friends and some new characters that exist in the world as
hmm
they're being attacked by some sort of, I guess, mechanized computer future outer space aliens.
yeah. This one was interesting because like from the feedback that the community's been given is this game looks like it needs to be delayed, but with the release of this trailer, they confirmed the release date of November 8th, and we're just like, why is it coming out? This game needs to be delayed. Like it looks not that great, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's like it looks okay at some points, but then at other points it doesn't look good at all. Like the combat kind of seems
Awful.
iffy.
Yeah, to me it looks awful. Like from the gameplay when we originally watched that gameplay trailer, this is more of like a cinematic like sizzle reel. So they're gonna clip all the best parts into one
Yeah.
trailer. So obviously it looks good, but from the gameplay when we had the extended version of like 15 minutes or whatever it was, it just looked very clunky and slow and just bad.
Yeah, the pacing looks rough, the gameplay looks rough, so I'm hoping that this game doesn't flop, but it might. It might indeed flop. Next up we've got Under the Waves, which is it looks like a horror Subnautica, you know, successor.
Yeah, this one when this one first came on the show because I watched the show live and this came up and I was like, oh, this must be the new Subnautica game that they're coming out with. And then it gets to the end, I was like, wait a minute, this it's not the same studio. Like this is being made by Quantum Dream or Quantic Dream and Parallel Studios, which is known for like Detroit, Stay Human, and whatnot. So they were very different games, and this one seems really interesting. It's a new narrative-driven adventure game, and it looks pretty cool. The art style is very different.
Definitely. Next up, we've got Goat Simulator 3. Nothing really needs to be said about Goat Simulator
We
3.
just
It's
got to
just a
see
sequel to
gameplay.
Goat Simulator 2. It's just that stupid party game that a lot of people enjoy. I played Goat Simulator, never got Goat Simulator 2. It it just was missing something for me. I'm looking for more narrative and stuff like that. So this is just a silly party game for you and your friends.
Right, and this trailer from Gamescom was really just its first gameplay of it, and then obviously the release date is on November 17th, so it's just here in a couple of months. But yeah, like you're saying, it's not a game I most likely won't check this out.
No, exactly. Next up, we've got Return to Monkey Island. We finally see, the full trailer for the game. Just sort of a story announcement trailer. Looks interesting. They did plug that if you get it early, you get a useless item for pre-ordering the game that sits in your inventory for the entirety of the game,
Yeah, you
and
get
it
the
does
horse armor.
nothing.
Yeah, it's horse armor.
Yep,
You get horse armor, it
that
sits in your
does
inventory
nothing.
and does nothing. But interesting enough, they did officially announce that this game is coming out on September 19th, which happens to be International Talk Like a Pirate Day. So that was pretty cool that they lined the release date up for that.
Yep. Next up, Subnautica developer we did see their game, and
Yeah,
it's called Unknown, or it's Moonbreaker.
Moonbreaker.
Moonbreaker is their, it's a tabletop fighting game. So it's essentially a Warhammer style clone where you build a roster of units and you paint them with their in-game painting features, and you just fight out a tabletop battle. So
Yeah, honestly, when this
it looks
game came on there, I
interesting.
was like, you already like the Subnautica developer. You love minis. You love painting minis. You can do it now
I
digitally.
just, it's not what I want. It's not what I want.
You don't want to
I
play
don't
this kind
want
of game.
this. I wanted a new Subnautica, and I
Yeah,
feel like they're like, oh, we're going into a new IP, and I was like, my man, you left the last one with so much. Like, you could have done such a cool game, but
yeah. I mean, they move from game like genre to genre all the time.
they
Like
do.
they'll do like one or two games in that certain IP, and then they'll just move on to something completely different. And clearly, you went from an underwater survival kind of exploration game to a tabletop minis
Miniatures
fun
game.
strategy game, or more or less. Like it's
Yeah,
interesting. It's different, completely different. I mean, it looks cool. I
yeah.
most likely won't check it out. It's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we've got Friends versus Friends, which is a card deck building game, but it's also a shooter. So it's kind of like I forget the game we had that came out a while back here that fast-paced game on the Switch. Can't even remember for the life of me what it was. But it was about angels and demons, and you would collect cards along the way to give you different guns to keep shooting through stuff. But that's what this essentially feels like. Is it's a you collect different cards as you go, and you use them to get different weapons so that you can do different things as you're going through a rough and tough shooty, just sort of like poppy looking colored game.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Lies of P, which is a weird retelling of
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Yeah. It's
But
a Souls
the
like
idea
Pinocchio.
is, yeah, it's a game based on Pinocchio, but it's a Souls-like, and it also is you kind of have to balance, I guess, the difference between do you want to become like a full monster or do you want to try to save your humanity and become a real person? But every time you get a new weapon, your body gets modified and changed from what the trailer was kind of talking about.
Yeah.
So
It looks really
definitely
good.
be interesting.
This is a game that's all gonna be on my radar because this is something different. I don't really play many Souls-like games, but I kind of like the story of the whole Pinocchio telling, but in like a dark, like steampunk kind of setting. Like this kind of had
Yeah.
like a Dishonored kind of look to it, and it looks pretty cool. And I just love how like his arm, you can see in different parts of the trailer, like turns into multiple different uses, like whether it's a grappling hook, a gun, or him using it to open up doors that normal humans wouldn't be able to open up. And then as you can see there, like that's the creator of Pinocchio. And
Geppetto.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. Especially obviously we know the remake of the original Pinocchio movie, the live action version of Pinocchio is coming out soon too. So it's cool to see all this new Pinocchio content coming out.
Next up, Stranded Alien Dawn, which looks like it looks like a tower defense style game. You're from a group of humans who've been stranded on this sort of alien planet, and the whole idea is you build up a colony for your people, and then you essentially defend that colony. So um it's kind of like Starbound, not Starbound, RimWorld, games like that, but it's more of a 3D, looks real refined, looks interesting.
hmm
We'll
Yeah, I
see
like
what
it.
it.
The trailer looks
Yeah,
really good, but I mean,
agreed.
if the game plays out how the trailer looks, could be different. So I might check it out. It might be something I might give it a try.
hmm Next up, we've got Sand
Nope.
is your weapon in Atlas
Atlas. Oh,
Fallen.
yep.
So
Atlas Fallen.
yeah.
It's a new game.
So the whole thing is about you building and using weapons made out of the sand around you, but you're also in a desert, so there's a lot of sand. So it, it's interesting because you're essentially a wizard who
Yeah.
can fight using the sand.
Yeah, this game looks really good actually. Like this one came out of like left field and we were like, "Oh, what is this?" And this kind of looks really interesting. And then this kind of like reminds me of that new game that's coming out from PlayStation, Forspoken. And actually it's been a meme on the internet right now as they were like, "Is Forspoken and Atlas Fallen the same game?" because that's what it looks like. But yeah, as you can see here, like you can manipulate like time, like you can reverse time in certain parts of the world, so you can obviously go across the bridge, and then like you're fighting, and it just looks like it's a lot. It's pretty fast paced when you get into the fighting part. So
Hmm.
and it's kind of like you're fighting big ass monsters and stuff. Let me see if I can fast forward it a little bit here. Yeah, so they were taking down this monster, um, teaming it up. So I wonder if like if it's gonna be co-op at all, or is it just gonna be like a AI in the game?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out. It looks good.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a RTS game, Homeworld 3. This is the sequel to a 2005,
Yeah.
2003, a 2003 video game, Homeworld 2,
Mhm.
that was remastered in 2015. It's a starship fighting game, so you go around fighting with different you build your fleet in real time, you're trying to collect resources as you move about the galaxy, so it looks interesting.
Yeah, that was just the first trailer in regards to like actual gameplay from it.
Hmm. Next up, we've got Genshin Impact hits 3.0. We get a new zone called Sumeru, the Sumeru region. So it looks kind of, I think, piratey in some of the cases, it looked like. There's also an interesting character that seems to use money and resources, sort of like a gambler, I guess.
Mhm. I've never played Genshin Impact, but I know this is a franchise that's been around for a very long time.
Well, not a long time. Genshin Impact has been around, what, for only 3 years?
I feel like it's been a lot longer than that
2020.
since the original.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Genshin Impact is an MMO
Yeah,
that was released in 2020.
gotcha. It seems much longer than that for some reason. I guess we lose track of time because of the pandemic.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, this launched during the pandemic, so it was definitely an interesting drop. So we'll see what happens with it. We have next up the Job Simulator VR developer launches a new game here.
We have no
This
idea
is
what it's about.
yeah, they were just like, we're releasing a new game.
And
We just
apparently
got
it has
a
something
quick
to do
little
with like
snippet.
eating of some sort. So
Hmm.
imagine like a restaurant eating
Eating
simulator
simulator.
or something. Okay.
Sit there and just oh, silly, silly, silly. But Genshin Impact developers are also releasing another game at the same time, which is called Honkai Star Rail. So it's essentially about it's a JRPG about a flying magical space train.
Yeah, it seems interesting.
It looks like something I would play, but then again, I'm a weeb, so. We did actually get a really interesting trailer though. High on Life. We got the new High on Life trailer for one of the boss battles, so you got to see the full boss fight for I forget what their name is.
Which one?
The boss that's currently on the screen there.
Torque.
Torque, thank you. Torque. One
Not.
of the Torque clones. So it's the ninth clone of Torque.
Yeah, really,
And
what was going on in the trailer though was just like how
getting to see all the
incredibly,
weapons.
yeah, how incredibly insulting the weapons are. Like they are really cursing up a storm. Like most of the trailer was like a bleep 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 bleep, and you're just like, holy hell. And then you watch the unedited version, you're like, yo, this game is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, the fucking knife. Dude, I watched it
Knifey.
unedited and I didn't even realize it. Like, but the knife, dude,
the
knifey is knifey is my favorite.
He was just like, I will cut out your asshole and eat it. I was like, oh damn.
Yo, bro, chill, chill, bro.
This game looks like a
But
lot of
no,
fun, man. I'm really,
it does
really
look
excited for
really
this.
fucking good. I'm excited to play it as well.
And the fact that it comes to Game Pass day one, baby.
Yeah, no, that's the best part, day one.
Look, Knifey's
All
right now
right,
talking shit in the trailer. That's great.
knifey is my man, dude. Like, I'm honestly excited to try that game. It looks real good. So if for those of you who are fans of The Expanse, we got a new cinematic trailer for the game coming out in 2023. It's from Telltale Games, so it's a story-based game here. It'll be very much based off of The Expanse, the actual show. It's going to be pretty similar to the TV show.
Yeah, I've never seen the show, but I heard it's really good, and Telltale does a really good job at creating like this story interactive games like this. And because like obviously it's really known for like the Walking Dead one that everyone was big on, and I think they also did A Wolf Among Us. So if that's anything to go by, this should be pretty good one here.
So one of the weird ones we got here is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So this was an 80s horror franchise that is getting a video game now, and it looks creepy.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, you could definitely tell it was set during like the 80s timeline.
Mhm. Dude's
Um,
got his Walkman ready. He's going.
Hakeem, welcome to the show, my boy. Even though you brought out the penis, but yeah, this anybody who does not like clowns, good luck. But
The game looks horrible as fuck.
it just seems like a
So,
goofy ass game. I don't even know. I think the gameplay is like 7 versus 3 or something like that. It's like
mhm.
there's like 3 clowns and then 7 survivors, and you're just trying to obviously like the whole monsters versus
Yeah,
team.
exactly. Next up, we've got Scars Above. So we get a new gameplay trailer for this sort of futuristic shooter. It is going to be a dark sci-fi action game, as you can see there in the description. Um, we've got to see a little bit of gameplay. It's not just a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, anything sci-fi, man, you got my attention for sure. This looks like it's being made in Unreal Engine 5 as well,
Mhm.
just from the character details. Like it looks good. I mean, the cinematics look good. Here's some gameplay thrown in there into the mix there, so it might be a game I check out for sure. It seems like a third-person
Yeah,
action
I
game.
definitely play it. I definitely give it a go. Next up, we've got Fallout and Skyrim veteran developers are now making a new studio to create a new game. Um, we didn't get anything other than a cinematic trailer, and it's really not worth showing. It's just Word Song is the game. We have no news what it's going to be about. It's just an open world RPG.
Yeah, it says that the game will be set in a dark fictional version of the historical Portugal, full of conspiracies and supernaturals that are going on. Um, so yeah, it's not much really going on here. It's just like an announcement trailer.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate the bits, my boy. Appreciate you. But yeah, that'll be a game that we keep on the radar because that's coming from a long list of very talented developers.
hmm Yeah, it's a bunch of Bethesda developers who broke off on their own. We have Age of Empires 4, two new factions. We've got the Ottomans and the Milans. So, it's gonna be very much the Ottoman Empire, sort of the fall of Byzantium, the people who, pretty much owned all of the Middle East as well as all of North Africa, versus a more of a, I believe it's an African nation, Malayan. They are going to be focusing on outmaneuvering your opponents. They're going to be very much more a harass type of unit as
Hmm.
opposed to a heavy hitting.
Like the Ottomans were, like those
Yeah,
cannons that they used to
yeah.
just take down your walls like instantly.
hmm
Have you played much of Age of Empires 4 at all?
Yeah, I played a ton of it. It's super fun.
Yes,
Me
sir.
and uh, me and Nightmare Gore used to play.
Are you excited for this new expansion or anniversary
I just
update?
haven't gone back to the game, so
Maybe this gives you a reason to go back to it.
maybe. Honestly, I want to go back and play the story, if anything. That's about it.
Mm, gotcha.
But next up, we have Gotham Knights is launching
Okay.
actually pretty soon. It's in October 21st. We were kind of hinted that it was going to come out next year
No, it was supposed to.
or late this year. We were kind of teetering where they were going to release it, but it's actually coming out in October, which is rather quick compared to what the industry thought it was going to come out,
Yeah.
with it being pushed back.
Well, the game was originally it got moved to October 25th, I think it was, or 28th or something like that, and then they just announced that at Gamescom that they were releasing it like a week earlier with this trailer, and it kind of showcases the villains. Obviously, you got Harley Quinn and Clayface, are the two major villains outside of the Court of Owls. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks fucking awesome, dude. I'm excited to play it. And it's a four-player game, so we're definitely gonna play it as
It's
a
a two.
co-op game.
It's a two
I
player.
thought it was four.
There's
Oh,
four
it's only
different.
two.
Yeah, you can only play as two people. But there are four different characters to choose from.
Okay, thank you. So honestly, it's a game that I'm gonna play the crap out of
Yes,
because I
me and you are
love
gonna
DC.
tag team this. I think this is going to be a game that we can play during our co-op stream or something.
Yeah, if we continue to do the co-op stream on Sundays, we'll probably move it to a different day of the week because of football season starting up for you.
Yep.
But we also get to see, in addition to Clayface and Harley Quinn, we see
Penguin.
Professor the Ice Guy. Damn it. But we have an interesting trailer. It's not really gameplay, it was only a cinematic story.
Yeah, it was just to showcase who the villains are going to be in the game.
Yeah.
Outside of the Court of
So,
Owls, that was just the initial announcement of the villains. Now we get to see it kind of
but
a full scale.
yeah, and we're also going to see Mr. Freeze. That's who it is. I
Hmm.
couldn't remember his freaking
And
name.
Kingpin, I think is the other guy too. That's going to be
Mhm.
in it.
So it looks really freaking good though.
Hmm. Really excited for this one.
And then we also have a game, I believe it's called Where the Winds Meet here.
This looks great.
It looks really fucking good, dude. It looks like another Souls-like game here. It's gonna be an action RPG based in China, medieval China.
Hmm. Basically, the best comparison that people had was like if Assassin's Creed was set in China. That's what everyone's comparing this game to, because obviously the traversal system of climbing, the assassination attempts, the arrows that you're able to shoot. But this one has like the interesting supernatural because he can like run on water. He can like scale things really quickly, and the combat is really intense. I'm trying to get to the
Uh,
screenshot that I really loved. That one that looks really great. But it was here at the end. Like this one here looks beautiful.
yeah, no, it does look really good. It looks like it'll be a great game, and honestly, I hope it only comes out on next gen consoles because we don't want to be kind of pushed back because of it.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's definitely time to let those last gen go. But yeah, this is an
Next
open
up,
world RPG set in a Ten Kingdoms era of the medieval China.
then next up, we've got Kojima announces his podcast. Cool,
Yeah.
if you care about that thing. Uh, I know you're currently listening to the Press Start podcast, but if you want to go listen to Kojima talk about himself, you can.
He'll be talking about all kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
there's an English version and a Japanese version as well. Comes out starts first episode premieres on September 8th.
Next up, we've got a new theme park builder. Park Beyond is a new amusement park simulation game. It's akin to Thrillville, they said. It looks interesting. It's going to be very much not really grounded in reality. Like you've got roller coasters that are shooting fucking flying vehicles across, literally right there
Yeah,
in the trailer as I was saying it. So it looks interesting. It's definitely going to be something I might check out here
I haven't
because
played a an amusement park sim in so long. I remember playing it all the time at your house or Pap's house, playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 or 2 that we were playing all the time, and this just gives me those kind of vibes. But just like with the unrealistic versions of like those roller coasters.
yeah, like the fucking spring there that shoots them backwards.
Yeah. Well,
Get the fuck out of here.
at one point, like the train car like separates into like individual cars like that, and
Mhm.
then it comes back together and forms another like the train again. I'm just like okay, but it seems pretty cool. Might be a game that I check out.
Yeah. Next up, not really that great of news. Just Mini Cooper has a new crossover with Pokemon to make a new Pikachu Mini Cooper.
Yeah, and it's the electric version, and it's all gaming. Like it's gaming. It's like built around the idea of playing games. It has a projector that you can use with the headlights. The screen is pretty damn big on the inside. As you can see there with Pikachu going across. As you could, there's the projector. It looks pretty badass if you ask me.
Yeah, it
Anybody,
looks cool, but it's just I think it's a little exorbitant if you know.
yeah. I'm trying to see if there was anything else that they showcased. No, just them talking a bunch about it and how the partnership came to be.
Next up, we've got Phantom Hellcat, which is a 2D slash 3D hack and slash. It's going to play similarly to what was the samurai game we played earlier this year? There are so many games that came out this year.
Chuck to Yomi.
Truck to Yomi, thank you.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 2D, 3D hack and slash fighting game.
And it's from a new developer called Ironbird Creations. This is their first IP that was. This is the first time we get to see anything from it.
Mhm. And it's kind of like Phantom of the Opera-esque. It's supposed to be about a character who is trying to break a curse on a theater.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, and it's coming to
Hmm.
all platforms as you can see. There's Steam, both both next gen and current or previous gen, I guess.
Sorry.
Unfortunately,
Next up, we've got Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. We've got a new trailer that showcases the customizations of your character, which looks really nice. I'm excited for this game beyond belief, dude.
yeah, this game looks really good. I'm super excited. This will be one of my first Warhammer games I've actually played, and I'm just really excited to check it out. It looks really good.
Honestly, I haven't really been disappointed too often by Warhammer games, and this one looks really fucking good. Next up, we've got Dorfromantic, which is a game that was out on PC on Steam. It was greenlit on Steam. It's definitely an interesting game. It's sort of a Settlers of Catan style game. But you essentially just you get a certain amount of tiles and you have to build thematic different zones based on those tiles, and you get more points as you build out. It's
Yeah,
coming to the Switch, so
and
if
it
you like
and the world is
casual games,
procedurally generated too. I've never even heard of this game until now, and
well,
I'm
it's
just like,
not procedurally generated. You build the world based off of just the random tiles that you draw,
well,
and
that
then you
they talked
build
about
your
it
own
during
world.
the trailer in Gamescom, how it's
Hmm.
procedurally generated the whole way through, and I was just like, oh wow, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, by procedurally generated, it's not like you're going around in a world that is just like randomly generated. You are building the world in real time. So you are adding tiles on the world. So you build the world, but
Yeah,
you get tiles like you would in Tetris, for example. It's like saying Tetris is a procedurally generated game. It is, but do you really call Tetris a procedurally generated game?
no, I don't, but I'm just talking about what they
Yeah.
said in the trailer.
Yeah. I just think it's a weird description for what it really is.
Right.
Next up, we've got Blacktail's latest trailer, which is for Good and Evil of Witchcraft. It's a game about essentially Baba Yaga, which is a Russian witch, a story of things like a bunch of different enemies you might find in things like The Witcher. You've got a leshy, you've got, these dark sort of creatures that you're fighting, and you run around using a bow and arrow and different spells to try and fight off these different sort of witch-like familiar creatures.
Yeah, it seems interesting. I don't know if I'll check it out, but it's definitely gonna be on my radar to see how this pans out.
Yep. Next up, we have The Outlast Trials gets a new trailer and a release date, which is October 28th to November 1st, where you can get the closed beta.
Next up is finals.
Is next up is
Yeah.
finals, yeah. So next up, Embark, which is a new studio, has released a new game called The Finals. It's gonna be a pretty much just like a shoot 'em up game. It
Yeah, but
looks
it's
really interesting. It
right.
didn't catch my attention as much as some of the other games did.
Well, this one's gonna be interesting because like it's a shooter, but it's like set in like a game show kind of format. So
Hmm.
trying to I'm curious to see how this like works out. Like what's gonna be
Maybe
involved.
it's the next iteration of Battle Royale.
Maybe.
you know. And then last but not least, we've got Dead Island 2. It is actually coming out. It does exist, and the game is going to mostly be about melee combat again. There will be
Hmm.
a few guns here and there, but it looks really interesting. The zombie infection has made its way to the mainland world and no longer just the island. And we get showcased one of the new characters in the game as he walks around Venice Beach and the boardwalk and is on his way to go get some batteries for his TV remote.
And he grabbed some more alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah.
this game looks pretty good. They're describing this as like an open world RPG, and I think you
hmm
could. There's 6 playable characters. So I'm wondering if this will actually have some co-op features in it as well at
Well, the
all.
last game did
Oh, it
so.
did okay. Yeah, and
hmm
I've never played the first one, so this would be pretty cool to
It's
check
really
out.
fucking good.
It's so I mean this game's went through like 3 different developers. It was announced back in like 2014, so it's like
Yeah.
it's been a game long time coming and just looks really good. I'm really interested to check this out, and it's coming out on February 3rd of next year. So it's gonna be one of those first games of the year, to make its mark.
It has a chance to be good or really bad and forgotten forever.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays
So,
out.
Gamescom was big this year. We had a lot of games come out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty dope. That was a really interesting show. The show was about 2 hours. Opening night live was. Obviously, there were some other events that happened throughout the week.
All right, so next up, we're going to move away from new announcements and just talk about things that have pretty much been happening in the world right now, updates to things. So, first of all, multiverses exceeds 20 million players in the first month.
That's incredible. Because I feel like we were just talking about it like 2 weeks ago. That man, it reached 10 million. Well, since that, it has doubled.
Doubled. Yeah. In a single month, 20 million players. It has almost more players playing it than World of Warcraft.
That's so crazy.
And then next up, Fortnite, we have a new a new icon that joins the series. Patrick Mahomes joins as a playable character.
Yeah, I got it up here on screen. You can play as Patrick Mahomes. Got 3 different outfits you can rock. It's just pretty cool to see all these different athletes come to the game. Obviously, LeBron's there, and I'm just curious to see who's next.
And then one of the next things we're getting here is Destiny 2 is getting a collaboration with Fortnite, so you'll be able to play with Destiny 2 characters, which will be cool.
Right. Destiny 2 did have a stream, and they announced the collaboration with Fortnite. There's content from Fortnite in Destiny now, along with Destiny characters in Fortnite. They have a nice crossover event. And there was something else that they announced.
Next up, we've got ourselves Destiny 2 actually has a new DLC coming out, or a new expansion,
Yeah, their
and we
next
have it here
expansion.
on screen.
Yeah, looks really cool, actually. It's set in a new town or new city that was discovered. It's on Neptune, and it looks kind of like a cyberpunk world. The people who live here are from like an alternate humans of some sort, and this is all part of the light versus darkness saga that's going on, and apparently this is the beginning of the end. Whatever that may be is what they said.
The beginning of the end of the story, probably.
And
They're
then
finally going to end Destiny.
we'll see. But they did announce the new like subclasses and whatnot. As you can see here, like this green stuff right here, it's their one of the new subclasses helps you eliminate enemies and also traverse the new city. Looks pretty dope. I just wish I can get into Destiny. But along with that, they also did announce that the DLC right now is free. All DLC is free from the 23rd until the 30th. So anybody who wants to get caught up, you got a couple more days to check that out. They did also add Fire Team Finder, which is pretty cool. Finally, I mean, it allows you to join up with other players to participate in the raids or dungeons and whatnot. I don't even understand why that was missing. Like that was one of the biggest components that was missing from it. Then they also added Guardian ranks, so it's just a way to introduce new players to every element of the game, whether it's the raids or it's the missions, the quests. There's just this different modes that they got. But there's also a new map. I already talked about Cyberpunk set in Neptune, and then there's a some new weapons and whatnot that you'll come across. But yeah, Destiny 2.
Next up, We've got updates to Battlefield 2042. Season 2 is beginning. It's the Master of Arms. They revert back to four class systems, but keeping specialists. They're going to have a new map, two updates to old maps, the new specialist. They have new weapons, two weapons from Portal, which is the M16A3 and the M60E4. You unlock them by playing the games and challenges that exist in the game currently, as well as there will be new vehicles, battle pass, and Portal content.
Yeah, like I said before, man. Like I've been starting to play this game again, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm actually probably gonna play it again tonight. Whenever my fiance goes to bed, this is probably what I'm gonna play.
It looks good, honestly. I wanted to play it, but I just got so much going on and it just flopped so early that it's just like getting into it might be a little bit of a long haul for me.
Yeah, it just
But it looks like a good game.
it plays so smooth and like it just feels familiar. Like just it just works now.
It
Now it does.
honestly it could give COD a run for its money if it can start to pull players in, but it might not.
This is the new map there that they just showcased. This is
Just
some
a
of the
giant
other new
ship.
weapons that are coming too. The new vehicles and then the new specialist, which has a pretty crazy turret. It's out now, or it's coming out here in 2 days, so definitely go check that out.
And then next up, we've got PlayStation news. VR2 is coming early 2023, and it will be firsthand. You can get a firsthand experience at the Tokyo Game Show. So book your tickets now, I guess.
Yeah, more or less. The game that you actually will be able to play is Resident Evil Village. So that'll be like a perfect game for to test out that PSVR 2, so you can get all the senses and whatnot around.
And then we had it in here. We covered it earlier. The Last of Us Part 1 remake is releasing this week, so might help to reinvigorate the PlayStation community. Hopefully it doesn't flop.
Right.
But Sony had no involvement in Death Stranding deal with PC Game Pass. So Sony they got cucked.
Yeah. Well, because like Sony owns the exclusivity rights when it comes to consoles, and in the contract apparently had said nothing about PC, like how where it goes for PC. So then 505 Games was just like, and Kojima was just like, oh okay, went in like they're already in that contract deal with Kojima's next game coming to Xbox, and they were like, hey, how about you bring Death Stranding to PC Game Pass? More people get to check it out and whatnot. This is just the base version of the game, so this is not the director's cut, no DLC included, and but it gives people a chance to check out this game that may have went underneath your radar.
Yeah, especially, if you like walking simulators.
Yeah,
But no, it's interesting that, Sony has just this gaping hole in their forethought and their just vision that they pretty much fucked up.
yeah, sure did.
So next up, we have Xbox Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th anniversary. This game is 11 years older than us. Like, holy crap. And with this update, they're going to be releasing the Airbus A310 and helicopters and gliders. This comes out on November 11th of this year, and honestly, it looks quite interesting. It's a whole new way to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. I've never played Microsoft Flight Sim in any of the 40 years of the existence, and I may eventually check this out because I just want to see how graphically advanced this game is because I know it looks good, but I want to see it for firsthand.
You want to see how you can quickly melt your potato of a computer?
No, I'm not doing it on my PC. This is going to be on my Xbox. My Series X running 4K. I'm good.
So next up, Creative Assembly, the studio behind Total War series, and the upcoming Hyena games, they confirm a new untitled action project in development.
Yeah,
So it's
I
not a
wanted.
rumor, there's
Right,
a game coming out.
right. I definitely wanted to throw this on there because I know our community plays a lot of the Total War games, and I'm wondering if you guys are excited for this kind of game from them.
I like For me, I have to see what it is, honestly. Creative Assembly is hit or miss sometimes. Like all of their Total War games kind of fall into the same rut. They're pretty cool, but like after a while they're the same game just over and over and over again.
Gotcha. Okay.
But no, I'm definitely excited because I play creative assembly games all the time and I love their Total War series. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
I hope this new action project is cool because it's kind of away from their normal, typical gameplay.
Right. Right.
But next up, EA. Project Cars 1 and 2 are being removed to stores, removed from online stores and game purchases because the car and track licenses are expiring. So if you want to get Project Cars 2, you have to buy it before the 21st. And if you want Project Cars 1, you have to buy it before the 3rd of October.
Yep. Yeah. So the
And then
Project Cars 2 is September 21st.
September 21st. Thank you.
Yep.
But Ubisoft, last but not least, has an upcoming Star Wars game, but will only be next gen. Finally,
Yes.
this is the news we're looking for. I'm sorry, but like we want to see you spend all of your time making the game beautiful,
Hmm.
not dumbing it down. Like, don't get me wrong, like we've always had PC games where there's a slider bar of stuff, but like when it comes to the consoles, you pretty much ship it as is, and the fact that they have to work on two separate versions to ship to market
Yeah.
just takes a lot of work.
Yep. When you can just allocate all those resources to the next generation version only.
Exactly. And if you're playing on Xbox, stream it. That's what cloud gaming is for.
Yeah. Just
All
got to deal
right.
with the latency. That's the only issue right now is the latency.
Yeah. And so, Vic, why don't you take us out of the show here with the gaming rumors and leaks for the week?
Yeah, we actually got a couple here. Fall Guys and Miku are having a crossover. I may have butchered that name 1000%, but it seems pretty cool. I've seen some leaked images of their upcoming outfits and whatnot for that, so be on the lookout for that if you're a big Fall Guys kind of player. Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 4 could be a throwback theme, so like maybe bring up guns and items and locations from previous maps or seasons will be like cycled throughout that new season, so that'll be a pretty cool take on that. Next up, we got Ubisoft is apparently working on an unannounced Blade game. So obviously the Marvel franchise Blade, we know the movie's coming out soon, and maybe they got a game in the works. They try to downplay it. They're like, no, that's not a thing, but they've already been leaked images of it. So it's kind of hard to downplay something that was already leaked. So that'll be interesting to see. Ubisoft Plus, their subscription service where all their collection of game could be coming to Xbox soon. We do know it's on PC right now, but it could be coming to Xbox. They did confirm it's not coming to Game Pass, but it will come to Xbox. Which,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say next is the way they changed their subscription platform, you can't get Ubisoft Plus in Game Pass, so it won't be like EA.
right, which is interesting though, because we've been seeing a lot of Ubisoft games recently being added to Game Pass, like Immortals: Phoenix Rising, the Assassin's Creed games, Ghost Recon is there now. Like, it's almost alluding to like, hey, we're gonna have.
Our full catalog is here on Game Pass, but if
It's
you don't
not.
want Game Pass, buy our catalog for the same price. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't I just get Game Pass? Don't worry about it.
right. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe that's part of the thing that PlayStation bought out. Hey, you're not allowed to have your catalog on Game Pass, but you got to
Okay,
do it the other
fine.
way.
Or, we'll just individually release the catalog.
All right. But speaking about Xbox Game Pass, there was an image that leaked showcasing the Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan that is leaked. So we already know that they are testing the whole family plan in two countries right now, but now everyone was wondering like, can I have friends on there, people who don't live with me? And now they basically all but confirmed it, saying that there's a new plan, Friends and Family. So it looks like me and Roger are going to be teaming up to have a plan. And to round out our gaming rumors and leaks, Amazon is reportedly making an offer to buy EA, but was shot down immediately as soon as this rumor started to leak. And I'm just like,
Well, not only that, their stock price literally just straight cliffside. They were like, "We're gonna buy him," and EA's stock price went
yeah,
Geronimo, and they were like, "Oh well,
yeah, never mind. We don't want EA no more.
yeah, we
They're not
good, we
worth
good, we good."
anything. But maybe
Yeah,
I mean, if this is true, maybe this is Amazon's way of entering the gaming market and actually have a reason to have the Amazon Luna subscription or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't. I feel like this might not be a
well,
good transaction
sorry,
here.
I misspoke. Their stock price didn't plummet; it skyrocketed a little bit. It
Yeah.
skyrocketed by about $5 or $6 here. Because it went from almost 125 on the 25th all the way up to 135 on the 26th. So they were like, we're gonna buy them, and EA pretty much was just like, money gun.
So that'll be something that's going to be on our radar for the next couple of weeks to see if this kind of happens. That would be a definitely a big move. That would definitely cause ripples in the industry.
Yeah,
But
no, honestly, it's all these big developers are starting or publishers are starting to be bought out real fast. And it's quite interesting where the market's going because I feel like we're gonna run out of independent studios at some point. Everyone's getting purchased, so then you have to, essentially become a part of one of these.
right. So that'll be interesting to see. But that's it for the rumors and leaks. Got any last closing remarks before we end the episode?
Hey guys, so we're gonna take a break from the co-op stream for a little bit here. Football season starting. Games are typically run around the same time that we do the co-op on Sunday. So with that, I'm probably gonna start up a different stream on Sundays here for the game requests on my channel, but we'll still be doing the podcast every Sunday. So make sure you come check us out.
Awesome. And Roger, where can they find these updates of your new upcoming stream?
You can find me on Twitch, as well as Twitter. On Twitter, it's Lunatic Oblivion, and then on Twitch, it's Lunatic_Oblivion.
Perfect. And of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game party, hit me up on there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Question concerns. If you want to come on the show, hit me up on there. I do stream on my Twitch, personal Twitch, from time to time, and that's twitch.tv/ Mr. Never Chillin. And we do want to thank everyone for coming out today and supporting our show again. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, do all that, and hit the bell for sure. But we want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.